Hey, it's me, Steve WB. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I got a little surprise for you. I'm not doing a tutorial. I'm not doing a comparison. We're going to be doing a little bit of urban exploring. And what I got to show you is an old compressor building built like probably back in the 50s. Anyway, without any further delay, here's the big reveal. Check this place out. I mean, look at the size of this place. This right here is an engine that was used to compress natural gas. And look how big this thing is. I'm 6 foot tall. Huge, massive engine. Incredible. So what I'm gonna do is grab the camera and we're gonna take a quick look around. All right, let's check her out. Now this is what I believe was called a Cooper engine. And this thing is just like huge, massive, heavy. I mean, let's check this place out. Look at the size of this engine. I mean, this thing is just massive. That used to be the muffler. I mean, it's just huge. And this is what you would call the flywheel. You're talking about 8 inches wide at least of just solid steel. The amount of power it took just to spin something like that around is just crazy. And let's make our way around. If you see this right here on the floor, this right here was a piston. Like normally in your car, it's gonna be anywhere from 2 to 4 inches usually. And this thing is like 18 inches. Heavy, and just massive. Massive machinery. And what this big machine was used for was compressing natural gas and injecting it down into wells to help lift up crude oil. So yes, they were used for oil production. I mean, check out all these lines. Somebody used to work here at one point that knew what every one of these little lines went to and what they did. And this was actually functional until 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit. That's what wiped this place out. I don't know how familiar you guys are with engines, but that is actually the connecting rod on a giant crank. And it's just huge. That thing is at least 10 inches in diameter. Just massive machinery. And of course, all this stuff has been replaced with modern engines. These things were not that efficient, but they had a lot of torque, a lot of power. And these are similar engines to what you would find in giant ships. Let's climb up and get a little closer look. As you can see up here, this is a giant piston that somebody was actually pulling. And you can just tell how the rust and corrosion, I mean, this is pieces of the original bolt, just all going to waste and rusting away. And this is actually your cylinder head right here. I mean, look at the valve. This is the old valve, and this is the old push rod I used to control the fuel and the exhaust. And then these are where your spark plugs went. Pretty crazy. I mean, just old technology and massive. Okay, as I was showing you guys, this right here is the flywheel. And this, like, when this thing got to spinning, it just carried a ton of momentum to help this rotate. And this part right here, this is actually the engine itself, the engine block. Now on this side over here, this is what was called the compressor side. And this basically powered this and drove pistons to compress the gas. And this is the side that gas was compressed and sent back out into the oil field. But I mean, just to give you an idea of the size of this thing is insane. And I know I keep going on about the size, but if you talk about a car engine, you're talking something like this, you know, by this. And this is this by, I mean, just huge. Really cool stuff if you're into old things like that. Okay, so we're gonna make our way around. This is where the old cooling towers were, where the gas would flow through. And they had giant fans that used to sit up in here. You can see the center hub. They were like 6 foot tall fan blades, and they just spun around and blew cool air up through, cooling the hot gases off. Just a huge, large setup. Let's make our way around. Literally, that's a muffler. That muffler is at least 8 to 10 feet tall. Let's come around. Hopefully we don't run into any little friends. This was another cooling tower that just collapsed over time. The water's slowly coming up. You hear about water levels rising. This used to all be dry at one point. But here's a look at this engine right here. For you car people and people that know about race cars and things like that, this right here is a turbo. Like you got your little turbo in your car that's about this big around. This was the turbo for this engine. This is the exhaust side and this is the compressor side. So it used to take air in from this like 24-inch pipe right here and pull this air in and just compress it with this massive turbo and shoot it into the engine to help give this beast a lot more power. This is a wastegate right here. That's half the size of most people's car. And the wastegate would just control how much boost you had. If the boost pressure got too much, it would vent out some of the power, slow the turbo down basically. Okay, so we're gonna get away from that turbo. And as you can see, this engine right here is quite a bit larger than the first one we looked at. This place is nasty. I mean, just check this thing out right here. I can just imagine the noise that this thing used to make. Probably cost a lot of people their hearing over the years. But we're gonna run over here. There's an upper level we can climb up on, and we're gonna go up there and get more of a bird's eye view of the whole place. So let's go check it out. Okay, this is the way we have to go to get a nice bird's eye view. I'm gonna bring you up here and we'll go get a better look. A lot of work for an old man like me, but it's worth it. Let's check it out. And here it is, the bird's eye view I promised you. As you can tell, old, derelict, no longer in use, but really fascinating. This is the smaller engine. And this right here is the larger engine. Try fitting this in your family sedan. I mean, it's just huge, heavy. I'm the king of the world. Okay, so what everyone think about this place? As you can tell, I'm old and out of shape, but you know, I'm 46 years old. So anyway, pretty cool little place. I'm glad I got to share this with you. You don't get to see stuff like this every day. I mean, just old technology rusting away, ghost of its former glory, but still fascinating. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. I'm Steve WB, and I'm out.